And today we have Jam. Overall, I would say that Jam does 3 things extremely well. The first of which is movement. She can move around the screen very quickly, attack you from across the screen. Jam has several ways of getting in, and she needs to be able to do this because all her attacks have incredibly short range. So, in other words, instead of being able to attack from here, she's able to, from here, quickly get in range of her attacks. Secondly, Jam is really good once she is in your face, because she has several plus on block normal attacks, and very easy ways of maintaining pressure. And thirdly, given the right circumstances, she is capable of dealing large amounts of damage. Which brings us to her cards. So if we look in the command list, Jam has 3 moves: Ryujin, Gekirin, and Kenrokak, which use the kick button. There's this one, and this one, and this one. And you'll notice that at the bottom of the move list, she doesn't have any force breaks except for this one. However, she can still power up those kick moves by building cards. And she builds cards to this move, the Breath of Asunagi. Doing it with the kick button gives you the first card. Doing it with the slash button gives you the second card. And doing it with the H button gives you the third card. And she can have up to 3 of any one card. Additionally, doing the force break version builds 1 of each card. If I have the first card, I can do the force break version of Ryujin, but instead of consuming tension, it instead consumes 1 card. If I have the second card, I have the enhanced version of Gekirin, and if I have the third card, I have the enhanced version of Kenrokak. In general, having enhanced Ryujin lets Jam get combos from better starters because it wall splats. In general, enhanced Gekirin gives you access to a faster overhead. And, in general, enhanced Kenrokaku allows you to very easily switch sides. In case you wanted to. They have more uses, but those are the main ones. I'm only going to mention this once because it is sort of an advanced mechanic, but Jam can parry. This is a very, 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 very strong mechanic, but it's hard to use properly. So if I ever do make a second Jam video, maybe it'll be on the parry. In particular, Jam can only parry things that can be stand blocked. So she cannot parry lows, she cannot parry unblockables, and she cannot parry throws. So what is Jam's game plan? Well, Jam's game plan is to get in and land a hit into a sweep and get this first card. Once she has that card, now she can make you hurt with the big damage combos. And in order to get these hits, she has to be getting close and be pressuring with her many plus on block normals. The key normals that you want to use are 5P, which is your fastest attack at 3 frames, however, as you can see, it whiffs on most crouching characters. Your next best thing is 2P, which is 4 frames, and your low attacks, which are 2K, 5K, and 2D. 2D is really good because even if they block this, it's still jump cancelable, so you can reset into an air dash, or a slide, which I'll talk about later. And she has this move, which is jump 2K. This is actually a special move, not a normal move, so it's a little bit tricky to input. You have to tap down and kick quickly. You cannot just hold down and then press kick. If you actually want combos off of it, you'll need to roaming cancel it. But if it's blocked, you don't get those follow-up hits, which means it's still plus on block most of the time. Probably Jam's most important move is 6H. This is throw invincible and very, very plus on block. And the range on this is much further than it seems. So some bread and butter strings you might try are dash up 5S 6H, dash up 2K 2D, or just run up throw. You can also cancel into Gekirin for a quick overhead. This is even faster if you have the card. Or you can cancel into the slide. So now let's talk about jam and special moves. The first one is the Parry, which I've already mentioned. The second one is this one, which I've already mentioned. The third one is Asanagi, which I've already mentioned. The fourth one is Ryujin. This is really just a combo tool, but you might be able to catch people out of the air with it. It is a strike coming from the ground, which means that it is not air blockable unless they Faultless Defense. However, if they're on the ground, it'll whiff from most ranges if they crouch. Next is Gekirin, which is an overhead. If it hits, you can go into a combo. However, if this hits them out of the air, they get to tech almost instantly, and you usually don't get a combo. This is not the case if you use the enhanced version. And the enhanced version is a little bit faster, so it's harder to react to. Kanrokaku is exactly what it looks like. It is a strike invincible uppercut. However, the range on it is quite pitiful, and if they get hit by it, they get to tech away. However, all of that goes away if you use the enhanced version. You can see it travels forward a little bit, and if it hits, they're launched into outer space, and they're knocked down. Next special move is Chojin. This move is completely useless. Jam can come down with air attacks, and air dash, and double jump, but she's forced to turn around for some reason, so all your jump attacks will go backwards. You can use it as a special cancel, but it's really not useful. It does have an FRC on it, but it's really, it doesn't help. It doesn't make it any better. A far more useful special move is Bakushi, which is the slide. This slide eventually goes into low profile, and once it gets there, it has several follow-ups. If you press P, you get this thing, which can cross through the opponent. You have K, which is a low attack, and the entire thing can be cancelled into Asanagi. So theoretically, you could use it in combos. Keep in mind it is always punishable on block, whether you cancel it into cards or not. S gives you Happo Shinsho. Puffball is slow to start, but it's plus on block. If it hits, they're knocked down. However, on counter hit, you get a combo. Pressing H gives you Senri Shinsho. This dashes forward a little bit before doing Puffball, and this Puffball is slightly better on block. However, it can actually dash through the opponent, in which case you get the regular Puffball but backwards. Pressing D gives you a enhanced version of Puffball, which is really good. It increases the speed of it and makes it invincible to strikes. And it is now cancelable into Asanagi. While we're here, I should mention something about these cards. So Jam can cancel into card specials from regular kick specials, Force Break Puffball, and her command normals, which are not special cancelable. So 6HH is not cancelable, however, it is cancelable into upgraded card specials. The same is true with 3H and Force Break Puffball. So those are all of Jam's special moves. Jam has 4 super moves, which are all pretty unique. First of all, she has Renho Kyaku. This is a throw invincible projectile super that is plus on block. And she has Shokyaku Howosho, which is strike invincible. And both of these supers hit during the hit stop of the super flash, which means if they're not blocking before the super flash, they don't block. Next, she has Geki Saishinsho. So this hits twice, and it has an FRC on the first hit. Either way, you still get a combo. However, if you hit the FRCs, your combo is actually boosted in damage. This is sort of like a reverse to damage scaling. If you start a combo with the FRC first hit, the rest of the combo will deal 50% increased damage. So yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of damage!
This super is also strike invulnerable. And finally she has this thing. As you probably noticed, this super does 100 hits, and each hit does 1 point of damage. This means that if you were to combo into it, it will always do 100 damage, despite damage scaling. However, one, this super costs double, and also you really can't combo into it anyway. You can't cancel into it. You can't Roman cancel and then do it because it costs full meter. And you can't juggle into it either. For some reason, the training dummy does not take out of this, but a real human can take out of that really easily. So you can't cancel into it, and you have to combo into it on the ground, which is possible. But you usually have better options. Plus, you want to be spending your meter on Force Break cards and Force Break Puffball. So we'll end this video by talking about the loop, which you've seen me do several times. The easiest way to start the loop is to go into the corner and do Gekirin. And the loop is this. Most of the time, you can do 2 or 3 loops. I usually just do 2. And the key thing to note about this loop is that it is a little different depending on the character you're against. However, it is always at least possible. And in particular, you want to time the second hit of 6HH as late as possible so that they're as high on the wall as possible. If I do it as fast as possible, I don't have enough time to dash up and do a second loop. So delay the second hit of 6HH. But don't delay it too much. You also need to adjust how you start the loop if you're starting from quarter D, because the height on the wall will determine what you can do. If they're really high, you have to start with 6H. If they're super high, you really can't do anything. Unless you have even more cards. And if they're really low, you can do that. Again, practice it in all sorts of situations against every character. It's a little bit different depending on how fast they fall. And that's everything that I wanted to cover in this first video. Stay tuned for more.